Welcome to Conversations Live. For more than a decade, we've brought you the best in books, entertainment, and current events. When the movers and shakers of the world have something to say to you, they say it to us first. Now, here's your host, Cyrus Webb.
And welcome back, everyone, to Conversations Live. I'm your host, Cyrus Webb. Glad you all could join us once again, whether you're tuning in on your inspiration station at WYAD 94.1 FM in Yazoo. We definitely welcome you all to our program, but also those joining us through our online affiliates around the world. We're glad to have all of you with us as well. We're excited to welcome all of our affiliates today, whether it's Entertainment Radio out of Texas. We're excited to have Legend Radio Network joining us today out of Florida. We're glad that all of you could be able to cover this special event because we have a very special guest that's joining us. Vernon Moore and I have been friends for years. In fact, you all might remember, for those who know me from my spoken word days, he actually produced my very first spoken word CD. But he's a recording artist that's been able to share some great messages along the way. He's been a guest on Conversations Live all the way going back to when we were on WNPR there in Jackson, Mississippi. He's just released a new project called The Sound of Freedom. We're going to talk to Vernon not only about this new project, but also the two singles that you guys are going to be able to hear here on our program, Yeshua, as well as The Sound of Freedom itself, the title track. We'll talk to him about the inspiration, what it's been like for him to see the response to them, and more importantly, what he hopes the music is able to do for all of you as you're looking at your own lives today. If you're just hearing about Vernon and his music, we'll tell you at the end of our segment how you can stay connected with him. But Vernon, hello to you, and welcome back to the program, man.
Oh, man, how you doing, Cyrus, man?
Hey, doing really good, man. You and I go way back. You know, Conversations Live started on WNPR back in 2003. You first appeared that first year. You've been on with me now a couple of times since then, for sure. We're going to definitely talk about this new project, because I think, in hearing the two songs for myself, and our audience will get that opportunity, I think there's so much for us to talk about. What has it been like for you, Vernon, to not only to be able to produce this music, but to see the way that this is actually able to touch people today?
Man, I mean, that's the top goal that I have, It's like, whenever I see a song that was given to me, I always call them gifts from the Lord. Whenever I see it touch someone or change their heart, I had one young man, to come to me and was just like, man, when I heard the music, I went and I gave my life to the Lord. Things like that, it's worth it. It's worth more than money. You're talking about somebody's life, who could be the next great leader to help, hundreds of thousands of people, come to the Lord and change their life around in a positive way. When you're a part of affecting lives in a positive way, it is a very beautiful, gratifying thing, and it makes it all worth it.
I remember going back to your project, Freedom Revolution 2010, Vernon. I mean, one thing that you were not afraid of, you kind of shake things up. You are not the typical artist. It takes a lot of courage, for one thing, I would say, a lot of boldness to be able to let yourself come through, not only in your music, but in the way that you choose to present your music. Where do you think that boldness comes from?
Man, it's something because, I've talked to other people before. It can be something when you're doing something that goes against the grain of others. Take yourself, for instance. Some people that have ambitions to do certain things, and I remember when you would be like, doing something here or there, being a mover and shaker and being consistent. And as and then I look and see some of the things that are going on in your life now. It motivates people like me, staying consistent at what I do. And, some of my stuff that I do it can be out the box, towards some of the normal things that you may see, with this type of music. But it's one of those things to where I would rather be true to myself and what I'm called to do than to try to please others.
Right. I'm glad you said that, because I think, I had a great conversation with Israel Holton on this program. And one of the things that he talked about, because I said to him, is that you're not your typical, what people think of when they think of typical, quote-unquote, gospel artist. I mean, his music is played on jazz stations and, all over the place.
Yes, sir.
Yours kind of fits that same category of kind of being able to not fit in a particular box. Did you go into it with that goal, Vernon, or was that just the way that it came out?
Well, it's the way that it came out. I didn't choose to be different, but it's just what I get. I might get things that people may hear every day. Then I might get some things that are kind of just like a little edgy. And the thing that I've learned, in the simplest of examples, I remember being in the 7th grade and I had my hair the way I wanted. I had my brother to cut it, and I was so excited. Went to school. Long story short, somebody laughed at my hair, and I was embarrassed. I came home. I said, "Brother, I need you to cut my hair." He was like, "Why?" He was like, "You like it?" I was like, "No, I need you to cut it." So when I cut my hair, I went to school. That person laughed even harder. And, it was a thing of where I said within myself down through the years, I need to be true to what I am called to do and the things that I know that I should be doing. That way I'm not trying to fit in anybody's, box or their, frame of work. And, it's where I feel the most alive doing what I do.
Yeah, and that's the thing. And then there's the other aspect of this, Vernon, and this is what I have been able to experience, and I know that from reading the comments on your posts on Facebook and Instagram you have as well, that because you are true to yourself, that is what people resonate toward, and that's what they're responding to. How does that make you feel to know that by being able to use the gift, as you called it, that you've been able to not only share a message with people, but also get them to see that God loves them even though they might be unique in their own way?
Yes, sir. I mean, that's another aspect of it, that's a beautiful thing. We're all created in some type of different way. Everybody has something they bring to the table that's not like the next individual. And if an individual can be comfortable being that particular puzzle piece, then when they get where they're supposed to be and they're standing where they're called to be, when we all come to that table, man, it all fits. But if I'm busy, upset that I'm a wedge and this individual is in an octagon, the next is a circle, or however that goes, it's just like we can never come together and bring life, full circle. And not being afraid to say what's on me to say and to help others, to give my life, even as a testimony to help others, even when it's questionable things that maybe have happened in my life. Seeing people be helped from that, I'm willing to do it, man, because I want to see people make it. I want to see them reach their dreams and their destiny and their goal, man.
Yeah, for sure. We're going to talk more about that for sure. For those who are just tuning in either on the radio side or online, you're listening to Conversations Live. We're excited to welcome Vernon Moore back to our program today. Vernon is not only a longtime friend of mine, but also a repeat guest here on Conversations Live. He's celebrating the release of his new project called The Sound of Freedom. You all are about to hear one of the tracks on there called Yeshua, as well as let you guys know how you can own the music for yourself. You mentioned something that I think is important for us to talk about, Vernon, and I said to you before we began this segment, I think regardless of whether you're a person of faith or not, you would look at the world and say, we're really screwed up right now. I mean, there's a lot of craziness that is going on right now, and people who are of faith are not immune from that. So an obvious question would be is, how do you not allow that to affect your faith when you look at what's going on around you and what you're experiencing personally?
Well, man, and the thing that I grabbed from this is the personal thing. My personal relationship with the Lord has allowed me to see how flawed of a creature I am. As much as I love Him, as much as I serve Him, as much as I try to walk in His ways, I'm a flawed creature. And people have to remember, it says that in our weaknesses when He's made strong, well, it lets me know that sometimes I fall weak to certain things. I don't have to indulge in it. Oh, no, but even if I make the mistake, if I fall, my mom told me something one time that always resonates me, and it's simple. She said, baby, if you fall, get back up. And the thing is just allowing God to take His place. His place is standing in the gap when we're weak. And I don't mind allowing people to know, I'm a human. And, not that I desire to do the wrong thing, but if I happen to do the wrong thing, I want to say I'm sorry to whoever I did it against and try to be a better man, moving forward. That's it, man.
Well, that brings us to the first song, Yeshua. Talk to us about that single, because it really is a song of praise, but I think also a song of recognition. I think people who have been given God-given gifts we sometimes forget to thank, and even the scripture talks about to thank the giver of the gifts, because we get so focused on ourselves, because we are human, and the attention is on us, and it's very easy for us to just think about us. A song like Yeshua to me seems to be able to put the attention where it belongs. How did this song come about?
Well, it came about, it's funny because I hadn't even studied yet on what clearly the name Yeshua means before I heard the melody in my head and the wording. I did that after the fact, and it brought more revelation. But honestly, there's a phrase in the song that goes, "You delivered me from shame. All my sins have been erased. You're the name above all names. And so let every nation say you are worthy, Yeshua." And Yeshua meaning salvation. It means that, man, that we need a Savior. We need He is our salvation. And, when we make our worst mistake, that shame, some people will bring you to shame. They want to talk about what you did. They want to exploit it, and He allows us to know you don't have to live in that. You're covered by my blood, and I'll forgive you for your mistakes, and I'll restore you. So this song is very special to me, man. That's basically the story of it.
And so that's why I have you on here, because you even helped me pronounce it correctly. So here is here is Vernon Moore with look, here is Vernon Moore with Yeshua here from the project The Sound of Freedom. We'll be back with more of our conversation with Vernon right after this, so stay with us.
Yeshua, God, my salvation, thank you for saving me from my sin. We give you praise, and we give you thanks, Lord. Word. And your favor are pouring out, brand new mercies are all around, from shame. All my sins have been erased. you, Lord. All the angels bow before you and declare the works of your hands. You are worthy, Lord. Yes, you are. You're worthy, Jesus. There's nobody like you, Lord.
That again was Yeshua from The Sound of Freedom, the new project by Vernon Moore. Vernon is back with us today here on Conversations Live on all of our platforms. We're talking with him not only about the gift of music that he's been given, but what it's been like for him to use that gift and to be able to share it with all of you. One of the ways you've been promoting the new music, Vernon, has been the way that all of us are kind of online these days, and that's social media. How has that been a gift to you, to be able to use Instagram and Facebook in particular, to be able to not only keep us posted on what you're doing, but you also you let people in more than I let people in, Vernon. You let them into your time with your family and everything. I mean, what has that been like for you to see the response to that?
Well, I mean, it's amazing because social media has allowed in a lot of different ways the playing field, as some would say, for lack of a better term, for what I do and others do like me, to be able to get the word out. You know, one thing about it is, you know, look at hashtags, for instance, on Instagram. If I don't use a hashtag, if I have 1,000 followers, only those 5,000 may be privy to see that. But with the hashtag and you using certain ones, it may introduce hundreds of thousands or even millions to what you do, and they can connect with you when they see what you do. I mean, social media it can be a great blessing. It can also be the greatest of curse because some people use it for the worst things.
Right.
But you know, I try to use it in the most positive way possible, and that, you know, I don't mind sharing a little family in there because, you know, I do believe that our first assignment in life is family, you know, and so I don't mind, you know, them seeing the life that I live and me showing love to my children and things of that nature. But I love social media, you know, for musicians and artists trying to get out there. It helps us to be able to allow people to see what we do, you know, when back in the day before social media, you know, the big record companies could get the word out because they had the money to do so. So it evens the playing field just a little bit more.
Right, I totally agree with that. Talk to us about The Sound of Freedom, the title track, Vernon. I mean, for one thing, how you came up with this for the title, but also how this particular song came about.
Well, The Sound of Freedom has to do with a time that, you know, you looked at the children of the Lord when they were basically, you know, people do what they do. You know, you make your mistakes and things of that nature. But then there was a time when the priest had to come into the temple and, you know, he had to be right with the Lord. If not, he'd fall dead, and they just grab the rope, pull him out. But where the sound of freedom comes from is that he has bells on him, and when he made it through the holies of holies, it would let the people and the children of God know that they were back, you know, in good rapport with the Lord. The relationship was good, you know, and they went into a celebration. When they heard him come out, you could, you know, there was a sound that went forth. There was a sound of jubilation, a sound of celebration. I have my relationship with the Lord, and we're good. We're on great terms. So the sound of freedom lets people know that the Lord loves you. He desires the best for you, and he wants to see you praise him, glorify him, live in freedom, you know, away from people's opinions and what they think of you and things of that nature. So that's where it basically comes from, you know, studying the Levitical priestly order, you know, biblically and everything.
Gotcha. Well, for those that have not had a chance to hear it, here is the title track from Vernon Moore's new project, The Sound of Freedom. We'll be back with our final moments with Vernon right after this.
God, we're waiting on the Day of Atonement and anticipating a sound that lets us know we have liberty. Come on and ignite your praise as we raise the sound of freedom. Get ready for a sound. A freedom revolution is coming down. Let every nation rise in liberty. Let all the people shout it out. For release, no more chains are holding me. I'm forgiven, I am changed. I'm so glad that you came. Get ready for a sound revolution is coming down. Let every nation rise, liberty. Let all the people shout it out. Oh, get ready. No more chains are holding me. I'm forgiven, I am changed. I'm so glad that you came. Sound that atone. We need your sound. So let us rejoice. Let us rejoice. Proclaim your liberty. We need your. It's the sound. Come on, everybody. Let's declare. All praise. The sound that will not atone. I hear you, baby. God, we need your freedom. So let us rejoice. We need your. Yes, we do. The sound. The sound. Everybody say, oh. Come on. You should know it by now. Everybody say, here comes the sound. I hear you, Marcus. Lord, your word declares, he whom the Son set free is truly free indeed. Let's join together with the nations and celebrate the sound. Let's go! Come on, come on! 1, 2, 3, 4! Woo! Everybody, come on! Get those hands up! It's a praise party going on! Celebrate the sound! Here comes the sound!
That again was The Sound of Freedom by Vernon Moore. Vernon has been back with us today talking with us and about the new project, about the gift he's been given and how he's been able to use it. Now, we cannot have a conversation with you. I think you become like the Energizer Bunny, Vernon, when it comes to the live performance. I think you really enjoy it. I think that's, for a lot of people, that is the fuel for them. I mean, it's one thing to be in the studio. Talk to us about that experience and what it's been like for you, to share this music live.
Man, the thing that I love about the music is it makes me feel alive. The music that the Lord gives me, it's like when I'm singing on stage, I feel like this invincible superhero, man. You might as well call me Captain America or Iron Man or something. I feel like I can do anything. And there's a power behind the message, and what I'm feeling, even in that moment, to know that there are others listening and being a part of that they feel that, and the energy bounces off of each other. I've gotten a few years on my life since I first started this thing, but one thing about it, that energy still somehow hits me, and I can't help but to move, man, because I get excited, And that's one thing that I really love. It really is not just even a title, even saying The Sound of Freedom. That freedom lives with me when I'm on stage in that moment, and I'm able to help spread that to others, and that's what keeps me going, man. It keeps me going. It makes me excited.
Well, it's been exciting to watch you, man. Like I said, I've been a fan of yours, for quite some time, and, of course, glad to call you a friend. And you have been definitely someone who I look to as an example of what is possible as well as I think an example for so many people about the importance of allowing the light within you to shine. I mentioned earlier that Freedom Revolution project of 2010. I think, when you go back and listen to that project, there is really a theme that's there, and it's a theme a lot of times you would not think about with the title, but you have songs in there like Run to You, Draw to You, I Will Wait, You Gave, Conqueror, really showing that it is so much bigger than us. And I think realizing that there is, and realize that God is above everything that we are dealing with. Is that kind of the hope when people listen to these two songs, Vernon, of course, even ironically with Freedom Revolution, there is Sound of Freedom there. Do you hope that when people listen to these two songs with the new project, that they remember that in spite of whatever they're going through, that there is a God that created them, that loves them, wants the best for them, and is there to be able to be a protector for them?
Yes, sir. I couldn't have said it any better. I believe that you were in the boardroom listening when the Lord gave you these songs and the messages behind them. I couldn't have penned it better. But that is the hope. That is what I hope that people can grab from this. And, one thing I'll say is, Jesus came that we may have life, but not just life, an abundant life. And an abundant life means that I'm not just living, but I am living with the greatest of breakthroughs, walking through the greatest of doors, and I can press forward, toward what you have called me to do, and I can bless others and show them how to make it to their purpose and their promised land.
Right. Well, congratulations to you, Vernon, not only, of course, on the longevity you've been able to experience, but also the way that you're able to help to encourage people through your gift of music. Again, Vernon Moore has been our guest. The Sound of Freedom is available now through our partners at Amazon.com, or if you guys are not using Amazon and using one of those other sites, you can find them there as well. Vernon, how can our audience stay connected with you and kind of keep up with everything going on with you, man?
Yes, sir. On Facebook, Vernon Moore, the artist. On Twitter, VMO World. That's VMO World. And on Instagram, Vernon Moore. I look forward to connecting with you guys. And Cyrus, thank you for being consistent, man. I'm so proud to see everything that's happening, even for you. That's my plug to you, man.
Well, look, I appreciate that, man. Continued blessings to you. And we thank your audience for tuning in to another great segment of Conversations Live. If you all came in late, you missed part of the conversation with Vernon, don't worry. Thanks to our online friends, you all can catch the replay right after we go off the air. The link is already available through our social media sites. So head over to Facebook.com/Cyrus Webb or go over to Twitter.com/Cyrus Webb. If you click on the link there, you can listen to the show completely for free and share it with your friends from there, too. Until next time, I'm your host, Cyrus Webb, saying as always, enjoy your day, enjoy your life, enjoy your world. Make sure you take out time to enjoy some good music as well as a great book. Thank you all for choosing Conversations Live today. You all make it a great one.